Hello, everyone. Welcome to In the Corner, the place where every cricketer wants to be. I'm your host, Callum Dunk, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the podcast. Day one of our Ashes series, 25 days of glorious cricket coming up this summer. And what a day it was in Perth, with 19 wickets falling on the first day on what you would say is a relatively flat pitch at Optus Stadium. It was an electrifying day of Test cricket, exactly what Test cricket needs, and I'm sure that people from all around the world have been watching today's play. To start off with, we'll go with a quick 30-second summary. Captain Ben Stokes of England won the toss and elected to bat first, as England were bowled out for 172 inside 33 overs. And at that point of the day, you just thought, how long can Australia bat and really boss this game around? And Australia were probably hoping to only bat once. From there, England absolutely dominated. Archer got the debutant, Jake Weatherald, second ball in Test cricket. Unfortunately, Weatherald was gone for a duck. And then none of the Aussie batters really looked ashore at the crease, and play has just concluded with wickets tumbling left, right and centre, and the Australian batters throwing wickets away. It was an absolutely disgraceful display of batting from Australia. And obviously, Australia have a lot of work to do. If we look at the key highlights of the day, Mitchell Starc took career best Test match figures of 7 for 58, and Ben Stokes has taken 5 wickets. Australia 9 down, 1 wicket remaining, and obviously Australia have a lot of work to do with the ball again, and they're probably going to have to rely on Mitchell Starc very heavily in the third innings of the game. And I think this game's going to be over inside 3 days. This Test match is obviously moving very quickly. Let's talk about Mitchell Starc. He was certainly the star of the day, career best figures in Test cricket, and just the way that he was able to control the ball, and, you know, big responsibility with no Pat Cummins, no Josh Hazlewood. The way that he was able to nick off Crawley in the first over. His deliveries to Duckett was a very good delivery. Nicked off Joe Root again, who looked to play through the leg side, caught it first slip, and good delivery once again to get rid of Ben Stokes. But if Ben Stokes probably looks at that vision, he probably thinks it's maybe just a tad aggressive, leaving a big gap between bat and pad and going straight through onto middle stump. Delivery to Gus Atkinson was very good. We do have highlights of Mitchell Starc's 7 for 58 on our social media pages, so check out our TikTok and Instagram for those. Trying to plug the social media pages, forgive me, but those are really good highlights with captions of the commentary from Fox Cricket. Fantastic coverage today as well by Fox Cricket. They did a fantastic job, as they always do. Back again to Mitchell Starc. Sensational spell of bowling. Really bowling the one that's going across the right handers extremely well and being very dangerous. If we look at Ben Stokes, he took 5 wickets, and some of his wickets were very poor decisions by the Australian batsmen. But once again, 5 wickets is 5 wickets, and whenever he gets the ball, he makes something happen. And I said in the preview of this series that Ben Stokes was definitely the most impressive bowler that England had in the series against India in the Australian winter, and a lot relied on the fitness of Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer and Mark Wood to be competitive in this series, and so far they're ticking all the boxes. Jofra Archer was sensational today, picked up Weatherall with a very good delivery. Very unlucky for Jake, but yeah, very good delivery. Coming back in after the first one seemed away, the second one really swung back into the left-hander and caught Weatherall off guard. I thought he bowled with really good pace, really good aggression. The delivery that got out Marnus really sort of hurried off the pitch for a bit of pace, got up onto Marnus's elbow and then ricocheted back onto the stumps. I thought Bryden Cast played a sensational role with the ball today. I thought he bowled aggressively. He had really good body language and presence at the crease. The delivery to get Khawaja out was a very good delivery. I know I've talked about Khawaja being very jumpy and very jittery against the pace in the last 2 years, and unfortunately he hasn't quashed any of the concerns that I've had, but hopefully for Australia he comes good in the second innings. So England basically bowled more overs than Australia did, only a couple more. But they were able to obviously get 9 wickets, but they were able to really restrict the Australian run rate. And that's really impressive considering, England was scoring at 5 and over in their short but brief batting innings. So Australia probably could have been a touch more aggressive, but once again, the quality of the England bowling was sensational today, and they certainly deserve to be well in front of this Test match. I criticise England for a very poor batting display, and I still stand by that. But I think the Australian display is pretty much just as bad, or nah, I take that back. The Australian batting display has been so much worse. Blokes throwing their wickets away. Not sure what happened with Khawaja going off the field. Apparently, according to CA, it was some toileting breaks. But I feel like he really stitched up Jake Weatherald on debut, and I think it was a really telling moment in the match. I'm certainly confident there'll be some more information about what was going on with Usman Khawaja as the game goes on, and I don't think it will be enough to affect him missing any Test matches in the future, but yeah, I think that the lack of transparency was a little bit confusing for most cricket fans, and obviously it wasn't a desired result with Marnus Labuschagne going to the top of the order. I actually thought Marnus looked okay whilst he was opening. I thought he was very watchful. I thought he looked more positive at the crease than what we've seen previously, and obviously the top order batters for Australia really struggled today because England were just bowling so well at the top of the order. So leading into day 2, I certainly think that England are well on top in this game. I certainly think they'll bowl Australia out very quickly tomorrow. Any runs that Australia can score between the last pair are certainly a bonus, but there's no doubt that England are going to come out very positive, very aggressive as soon as the third innings of the match gets underway. And for Australia, they're just going to have to attack and take wickets. I don't think they're going to be able to be defensive for too long. Obviously, there's going to be a large emphasis on Mitchell Starc getting bags of wickets again to help the team, and hopefully, from an Australian point of view, Scott Boland can be a little bit more effective. And I was surprised with how much the English targeted Scott Boland today, and obviously today wasn't Scotty's day, but we've seen him be able to bounce back when he hasn't bowled as well as he probably could have. So most times that he has played for Australia, he's obviously done a fantastic job. And obviously the more Test cricket he's played, the more he's going to be put into these pressure situations. But certainly backing Scotty Boland to come good in the second innings for Australia. So Starc was fantastic. Australian batting was extremely poor. England batting overall was extremely poor, other than Harry Brook and Ollie Pope. Just want to give a special mention to Ollie Pope. I thought he batted really well today. Dismissed for 46, and I thought he was very watchful. I always thought that they were going to give him the first 2 Test matches at least, but from what I saw of him today, I do think that he has some promise at number 3. I certainly think he's improved a lot more over the past 4 years since he was last out here in Australia. So, yeah, Ollie Pope, I'm certainly backing to score a few runs. I don't think it will be massive runs, but if he can chip in with, some 30s and 40s at number 3 and, see off the new ball, I should say, I think it's going to have some good impacts for England. The only way that Australia basically get back into this game if they bowl out England for a similar total under 200 and then hope that they don't make the deficit in the first innings is not too much. So I do want to say thank you for watching all of the videos on Instagram, TikTok, from the podcast today. I will certainly be looking to bring out more cricketing content as the summer goes on. Really enjoy making these short cricket highlight videos for everyone. So make sure you stay tuned to the podcast and wherever you get your wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple as well. So thanks everyone for tuning in and listening. Cheers.